Hello Canterbury, welcome to Canterbury Live on Tuesday the 21st of April. I hope if your cherubs were back at school yesterday that they had a lovely start to term 2. This Saturday, of course, we all know is Anzac Day, but also there's a very special rugby game happening between the Crusaders and the Blues. And the way they're both going at the moment, it's going to be quite a ding-dong-wee game, and we have some tickets to give away to it. And if rugby's not your thing, you could head to the movies. Hoyts, we have some lovely giveaways for you as well. And next door though, this beautiful painting, the poppy painting from Ira Mitchell-Kirk, that you could be the lucky winner of that and hang it in your home or in your office. For all 3 competitions, just call through to Marianne on 3777 033 or go to our Facebook page and leave your details. Now though, with the painting though, we would like to know a little bit more though why you think you should win it. If it's for a friend or maybe some special reason being that it's Anzac Day on Saturday. Rightio. On the show today, Sarah joins me from Handscraft and we're making fun enough poppies, and we also have a beautiful music video that is in tribute to the Anzacs. It was filmed a little bit here in Kaipoi and also in Sydney, and it's called Ragged Bloody Soldiers. Excuse me. And next weekend, 48 Hours is happening in New Zealand, and of course right here in Christchurch, and I'm joined by the Christchurch manager, Andrew Todd. It's a wonderful film festival happening every year. Crazy Cantabrians running around and in 48 hours making a short film. Big task, but they bring it home every time. First up though, we're heading out on location with Nourish and Nicola Freya.
During winter, we don't tend to make many salads to go with our evening meals or any meals at all. But today I'm just going to make 3 salads that the ingredients you'll probably have either in your pantry or in your fridge. They're really cheap to make, quick just to throw together, and really delicious too. So we're just going to start with of course, a basic coleslaw. Most people will make a basic coleslaw just with your chopped cabbage and carrot, grated carrot. But I've also got just a really nice dressing to go with this that just gives it that sort of Asian flavour. And often, you know, it's dressings or something you might add like herbs, or actually just the way that you even cut the vegetables that make the real big difference to the salad itself. So the other thing I'm going to add to the salad is some spring onions, which I'm just chopping a little bit finer here. You can chop them into the rounds, of course, but they do tend to be a bit too much of a hit of onion all at once that way. So I'm just chopping these a little bit finer. And then I'm also going to add some sesame seeds. And then the dressing I've got for that is just some sesame oil, just a little bit, about a teaspoon of that, and then about 2 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce, and about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So just going to mix that around there. This salad is beautiful with Asian flavours. We often serve it with pork dumplings or that sort of thing, but it's also just really lovely with a mix of salads just by itself. So just going to give that a good mix, try and get those carrots all through there, and then I'm just going to serve that up onto our serving dish so you can see all 3 salads next to each other. So that's just the Asian coleslaw there. The next one we've got here is a lovely carrot salad, and carrots, of course, the staple of the fridge. So with this one, just grated carrot. I've got a little bit of shredded coconut there, and then just some sweetness with some berries. I've got some beautiful cranberries here that I'm just going to add in there. You could have dried apricots, sultanas, that sort of thing, anything that's a little bit sweeter, and some sort of dried fruit. I've also got just some toasted almonds, which I've chopped up as well quite finely. So add those in there. And then the mix we're going to put into that is just a mixture of a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of lemon juice, which is a really common dressing which you put on a lot of different salads, and it's about 2 tablespoons of each one. Just give that a mix around there. and we're going to give that a mix through as well. And the combination of those nuts and the sweetness of the berries, really good mix in this one. You could also put a little bit of onion in this also to add a bit of colour and also flavour. But those flavours going through there are really lovely, and the nuttiness of that mix there is really, really lovely. So I'm just going to serve a little bit of that one up as well. You can see the mix of those colours there already look really appetising and great. Then the next one, the last one I'm going to make, is just with a tin of corn. Good old corn, but just a way to make it a little bit fancier, so it can be a bit more of a gourmet salad than just tin corn by itself. So I'm just going to add a little bit of parsley with that, and just a little bit of the spring onion as well, and a bit of salt and pepper will go into that. And again, I'm going to use that same dressing of just a little bit of olive oil, and the same, a little sprinkling of lemon juice. So give that one a good mix around. It's just those colours. Colour really makes food so appetising, and we eat with our eyes a lot, don't we? So that's a really good mix there as well. And just to serve that up, making sure you're getting a good mix of the colour of the beautiful yellow corn with those lovely herbs and the onion as well. So yes, so when you're thinking of your winter salads, trying to use ingredients you've got in your fridge, adding lovely dressings and lovely herbs as well makes such a difference.
Rightio, very exciting. Next weekend it's going to be crazy. We have these wonderful filmmakers running around Canterbury. It is for the Rialto 48-hour Film Fest.
I'll take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world.
When you need to know what's happening in your region of Canterbury, join me, Chris Lynch, for CTV News First at 5, weeknights from 5, right here on your local channel, CTV.
Computer not working? Replace or repair? DIY or get a technician? Looking for parts? Thinking of upgrading? Need accessories? You've got questions, we've got answers. Global PC.
The preparation, the devotion, the fearlessness, the intensity. Runway model management. First impressions are everything.
Made to measure interiors, made with care, made for you.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
Come on, mate, hurry up. I left my kids in the car. I mean, joking, obviously. Joking about... Sorry, Chef, carry on. Sorry.
Thing there. Bon appetit.
Who would like to taste? It's an honor.
And that film was made in 48 hours. Unbelievable. Just a little snippet. It's fantastic. It was Le Restaurant, and we can't pronounce it, the A-Team, who are national finalists.
Yeah, and former Christchurch winner of 48 Hours.
Great.
Yeah, they always turn out good stuff.
Andrew Todd, of course, the Christchurch manager for Rialto 48 Hour Film Festival, happening next weekend. Unbelievable. It's come around so quickly. So tell us all about it, for those that have been living under a rock, about what it's all about.
So 48 Hours has been around for, I think, 13 or 14 years now, and it takes place across the country. And we have hundreds of teams in all the major centres and even some of the minor centres getting together and making a short film in just 48 hours. We give them like a genre, and we give them a compulsory character and a compulsory line of dialogue and stuff that they have to use in their film. But aside from that, it's just like go out and make a film in 48 hours and come back before 7 p.m. on Sunday.
It's just staggering.
It's crazy. Like, you have to write, shoot, edit, and deliver a film in a weekend, which, I mean, like most films, even short films, can take like months or years to make. So it's a really big creative challenge.
And challenge it is for everyone that's on the crew, but you sit through all of these movies. Let's just get it clear.
Yeah.
You sit through all of them.
Yeah, we get about 100 a year in Christchurch, and yeah, I watch all of them at least twice for judging purposes and stuff. And there's always some that are really bad. There's always some that are like really amazing. And then there's kind of the whole breadth of the whole range in between. But I kind of like the bad ones as well, because they're really charming in their own way, because like they're some of them are made by kids, or some of them are made by people who've never picked up a camera before, but there's always this like really infectious energy to it, because people are just having a lot of fun, and you can tell that even if the film is like poorly shot or like poorly acted, like, you know, there's always enthusiasm behind it, and that's kind of what 48 hours. That's what defines 48 hours, I think.
Exactly. Andrew, running alongside it is actually something quite exciting. You're having a screenwriting mentorship. Can you explain it?
I can try to explain it. We're opening up the screenwriting mentorship for 48 Hours entrance this year. You can apply for it on the 48 Plus section of the website. I'm not really sure how it's going to work. I think it's going to be dealt with on a very case-by-case basis. But the idea is that we'll take filmmakers who've sort of come through the 48 Hours program, I guess, and we'll team them up with an existing professional writer or development person or something, to kind of work with them to develop a script or to work on their process or something like that. But I think it'll be very dependent on what people need when they apply.
It's quite organic.
Yeah. So I'm not like, it's not like a funding thing. It's more of a like we'll team you up with someone to help you with
and mentoring you through to this possible career. It starts next Friday to Sunday.
The shoot weekend. Friday 7 p.m. to Sunday 7 p.m. If you're not involved, you'll probably see people around the city with cameras doing crazy stuff.
Yes, and if you've got guns, probably, you know, these are things you have to think about as a manager, don't you?
I mean, we let the police know that crazy things might happen, and we tell the teams to please notify the police if they're going to be doing any crazy things. But I don't think we've had any issues in Christchurch. There have been issues in other cities where people have been like using prop guns on the street. And
Armed defenders called out.
Yeah, there've been call outs, but generally speaking, people are pretty good about it.
Can we still register?
Yes, registrations are still open until next Monday.
Oh, perfect.
So there's always kind of a last minute rush where people are like, oh, it's next weekend. I really want to do it. They get their team together and register. So
yeah. Great. And awesome website with lots of information, 48hours.co.nz. Just go to 2015 and all the details are there. Okay, before we go, one tip for that filmmaker, one quick tip to think about.
Geez. One tip for 48 hours is to, I think, keep everybody on your team happy. And probably the best way to do that is by feeding them. Seriously, like, keeping your team well fed on that weekend smooths over all of the problems.
Get Nana baking,
Yeah.
get that lolly cake and all that good stuff, lasagna and things. Hey, thanks, Andrew. All the best. My friend, get some good sleep this weekend before next weekend. Hey, stay with us because after the break, Sarah is here and we have a wonderful poppy we're making as well as a beautiful music video. See you soon.
I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong.
Kids television is right here on CTV. Tune in every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. for an exciting range of fantastic kids programming. Join in with all the fun Saturday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on CTV.
At Bowden Environmental, we specialise in all aspects of resource management, so you don't have to deal with the paperwork. With the skills and knowledge to organise any environmental work, we can guide you through the process from start to finish. From organising consents and farm environmental plans to pump and well testing, Bowden Environmental has it covered. Save time and remove the stress. See the specialist. Bowden Environmental. Computer not working? Replace or repair. DIY or get a technician. Looking for parts. Thinking of upgrading? Need accessories? You've got questions, we've got answers. Global PC.
Come on down to Ferrymead Golf. Care for a game of paintball? How about some swings on the old driving range? Or on our par 3 9-hole golf course? Test your skills on the mini golf course or have a go at the airgun shooting range. Then relax at the Wow Cafe with one of our super succulent Wow Burgers. Whether you want to perfect your swing or are looking for a fun family day out, come down to Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
Arts 21 showcases the vast creative talent and minds that are making a name for themselves in Europe and beyond. Think outside the square with Arts 21.
Right, we have a very, very special treat for you. Paul Davison is a New Zealand producer and was behind producing a music video called Ragged Bloody Soldiers. Now, the Australian singer Luke O'Shea features in it, but it also has some local people. We have a veteran Morris Nutera who lives in Kaiapoi, and also the guitarist, the lead guitarist, is actually a well-known Christchurch man, Phil Dublé. So they all feature in this beautiful music video, a tribute to our Anzacs.
Proudly marching down to the quay, the Air Force, Army, and Navy. Tired old men who do their best with their ribbons and their medals up on their chest. The young folk, they don't understand forgotten wars, forgotten lands. But every April the bagpipes played to remind us all of yesterday. To the ragged bloody heroes who stood up to the test. Well, I have this to say on another Anzac Day, that I shall not forget. No, I shall not forget. Through the African, the Asian, and the European wars, these are once a younger men, they heard the call, marching through the gates of hell where they bravely fought and bravely fell. And as they saw what no man should, the blood they sealed a brotherhood. Anzacs from the southern lands, New Zealand and Australians, to the ragged bloody heroes who stood up to the test. Well, I have this to say on another Anzac Day that I shall not forget. No, I shall not. And the greatest gift that's been given to me is that I live in a land that is so free. May it pass without regret. You gave us the freedom to forget. And as we march through history, you leave to us your legacy. And as we pause, may we understand what it means to give your life for another man. To the ragged bloody heroes who stood up to the test. Well, I have this to say on another Anzac Day that I shall not forget. No, I shall not forget.
Age shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old.
I shall not forget.
Age shall not weary, nor the years condemn.
No, I shall not forget.
At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
Lest we forget, I shall not forget.
And that was quite beautiful. Did you like that? It was great, wasn't it? The music video.
Oh,
It's just quite
yeah.
stirring, that music, and just the
Yeah.
old soldiers and footage and that. So many thanks to Paul and the team for allowing us to play that video for you today. Very excited here though. We're making poppies, Sarah, and in a funky way.
Yeah, well, the whole Poppies for Remembrance thing, I was having a wee look at it just yesterday, and the history of the poppy has been around for years, even sort of before Gallipoli, back in the, I think they were talking 19th century. In Europe they used the poppies as remembrance. And then in the 20s they started doing it as fundraising. So it does have quite a significance, and whenever I go overseas or even come back here, there's just something about red poppies.
Yeah, it's quite stirring.
It's
isn't it?
around all the world, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually, it's a beautiful, the poem Flanders Fields is quite moving.
Yeah.
But I love what you've done here though, because you're taking the poppy to another level, really, aren't you? So let's make one.
So quite straightforward to do. There's quite a few sort of patterns around these days for making poppies. This is just a little one that I sort of came up with, which is just a little shape, just like that. Now, I'm popping the pattern into hands after this, so people can come pick up a free pattern.
Oh, fantastic.
And that saves that sort of stress.
Yep.
So all you need is you need 2 little bits of felt, some thread and a button, and that's basically it. So it's a nice, easy thing to do. En masse, you could make it into a wreath and make a fantastic wreath. And it's the sort of thing you can get the whole family doing. So what you're doing is you're getting a little bit of felt, and then you just want to put a little pleat in it. So you're just going to basically pinch it over like that. Oops, pick up the needle.
So it's like a figure 8 sort of
pattern,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a pinch. Bow tie sort of effect.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're just basically putting a stitch into it. Oops.
And just drawing it through.
Yep,
To cinch, is it cinching? Would that be the right word? Cinching it?
Yeah. That's Usually I just put that needle through the loop in the back, and that just anchors it.
Anchor.
And you just basically end up with a little piece like that.
Your petals.
Mm-hmm. So 2 of those.
Wow, and just put on top of each other.
And you're just basically popping them on top of each other. The joy with this is you can just tack it together. It doesn't need to be too precise or neat.
No, because I mean, as a flower, so they're not.
Flowers are never perfect.
No, they're not.
That's what I always used to say to people in classes. Flowers are never perfect, so they're a great thing to make. Everyone's unique. And then all you're doing with that is you're finding a button, and that's where you get your variation as well, because you can put a big one in the middle, and you're just stitching that into the centre.
That is stunning. And I don't know what it is about felt, but it's just such a lovely product to work with, isn't it?
It's
easy. Lush, but it looks quite lush, doesn't it?
It's got texture, and it's got that sort of nice thickness to it, and it always looks good. And you can sort of sculpt it. So these ones I've put together because I thought you could do it actually as a choker.
That is stunning. That is gorgeous. And then you put it onto your hair. Maybe I'll play with it because
you've got darker
hair. But we're just playing around. Then you could do that sort of thing on a band.
Yeah, absolutely.
As such, couldn't you? That'd be really quite stunning.
Yeah.
But then the good old lapel.
Absolutely.
I think is lovely as well.
I mean,
doesn't mean you're going to get away with not buying one though.
Imagine a jacket
there,
collar.
Yeah.
Imagine a jacket collar done with it.
It would be quite beautiful. But I love, for a necklace though, I think that's quite unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also it could be adapted to, I know Dougie's getting a shot of this now, but for your wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a stunning thing. But okay, moving on from Anzac though, the same process though you could use for any other coloured
You
flower
can turn
as well.
it into other flowers. You can splice your petals,
right?
And you can layer up more of them to make chrysanthemums and things. So it is the sort of thing that you can even put some organza into the middle if you wanted to give it more texture in the centre. The other thing is if you make it out of organza, what you can do is you can get a heat gun onto it and it shrivels it, and you get really, really
awesome
interesting petals that way.
Well, for little girls too, I've seen, and I must admit they weren't cheap when I saw them. They were handcrafted, but putting a flower onto one of the metal pins.
Yeah,
so the girls put the slider.
Yeah,
so it can go on the hair. I mean, they're a pretty penny. But how lovely you can make your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. You've actually inspired me. This weather is a bit ugly at the moment. How wonderful to sit down just quietly.
We want to see you wearing one tomorrow.
Okay, no pressure. You've set me a task. You've set that challenge to me. Hey, thanks, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a beautiful show. Lots and lots happening, of course, around our region. And tomorrow is the same. Let me have a wee look-see down there, just discreetly. We have the Shrinking Violet talking about the winter diet, of course, the paleo. Have a wonderful day. We look forward to doing it all again tomorrow.
When he plays reveille, he is the boogie woogie bugle boy of company. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of company.